Hello, I'm Nicole. Most of you, or some of you, may know me from Peace, Love, Phantoms, and I'm part of the Red5 Network. And recently I started spearheading our book club, and I'm so excited for our book club. And this month we're actually reading Heir to the Empire. That book club's name is the Red5 Reading. We can be found on X, what used to be formerly known as Twitter. And I am so excited because in conjunction with the Red5 Reading, we're also going to be doing giveaways, including one for tonight. And we're going to be doing this show that's going to be called On the Fives. On the Fives is I'm going to be meeting with various Red5 content creators, and I'm going to be asking them rapid fire questions and some additional 5 questions to get to know more about them and the books that they love and comic books that they enjoy. And I'm excited because tonight, my first guest is our own podfather, Mr. Rowe from the Scarif podcast. And I'm excited that he's joining us tonight.
Woohoo! I'm excited to be here.
Oh my
this is
gosh,
so awesome.
I'm excited because this has been a whirlwind since this started. So I'm excited that we're here and that this idea came to my mind. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
Fantastic. Been looking forward to starting up the reading situation. I talk about it all the time. I don't read a lot, but this gives me a good opportunity to kind of go back to the books that I love. Mm-hmm. And I think the first selection is it's Providence. It's perfect.
It was perfect timing. And I felt like everybody that's involved right now, this is perfect for all of them. It's perfect timing. Totally and if you're listening for the first time, look up Red5 Network on the bio link as well. You can look up, if you want to join us, go ahead and look us up on X because you can join our book club.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you're going to tell folks about the Discord?
Oh yeah. We got a Red5 Network too. Discord. Yeah. And that's actually where we're going to be hosting all of our channels for the Red5 Reading Club. So I'm excited. I think it's actually a little bit more personalized this way. You can drop suggestions. We have a channel just now for Sunday nights is when we're going to be meeting currently. And just getting to know other Red5 people and those that are just around us and having fun. Sure. Other geeks, other nerds and bookworms and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Love it.
I know.
Love it.
So, shall we get on with it, Ro?
Let's get it on.
The first up is this or that. So, I have 5 rapid this or that questions for you.
Okay.
Ready?
Perfect.
All right. Fiction or nonfiction?
Definitely fiction. I like making things up and reading about things that don't exist.
Ebook or audiobook?
Oh, probably audiobook. I would get a lot more done, listening to an audiobook. And I especially love the audiobooks that are kind of like full cast dramatizations. Those are really fun.
I like those too. Especially like the old radio. That's a whole nother conversation. Yes. We could easily do a quick cuts on that one.
Yes.
All right. Paperback or hardback?
I think the hardcover books are fantastic. The small ones are convenient, or the paperbacks are convenient, because sometimes they print them up a little smaller. But, there's nothing like getting a brand new hardcover book that just dropped. The artwork, the sleeve, the jacket, the look and feel of an actual book is always a winner in my book. See what I did there?
I see. All right. Movie based on a book or a show based off of a comic book?
Probably a show based off of a comic book. Because I like comic books.
Me too. All right. Last one. Hero or villain?
Oh, villain. Can you
see?
That.
I knew that one, but I just it's going to be a fun one. I'll just ask anyways. All right. Now let's go and continue on some additional, let's get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty with
Okay.
the sense of other books that you have loved and grew up with. And I just have 5 more additional questions for you on
Excellent.
on the fives. All
Cool.
right. First up, name a book, if you can, from your favorite author.
A book from my favorite author, and again, I don't read a lot, which is a shame.
We'll
Um,
get you there.
yeah, I've got all sorts of books. Obviously, I've got a lot of Star Wars books that I buy, and I start them, but there's like bookmarks, like a couple pages in, and then they just sit there. So each new book has like a bookmark in the middle or towards the beginning somewhere. Um, as far as my favorite author, I'm not sure if I have like a favorite author.
Hmm.
Um, I can give you some authors' names that I've read. Um,
Mhm,
Claudia Gray is fantastic. Charles
mhm.
Soule is really a great
I
writer.
and as you know, I've met him. We've
Yes,
met him.
yes,
Great
we
to meet
did.
him. He was
Yeah,
awesome.
really nice guy.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, growing up, I think let's see, the guy that wrote The Fall of the House of Usher, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking out.
I'm gonna blank out.
Oh, The Raven. Oh my God. Now
Fall
we
of
look
House of
silly.
Usher?
Now we look silly.
Now we do look silly.
Oh my God. Now we have
I
to
mean, this
Google
would be
it.
perfect timing if you wanna read a joke book.
Oh my God. And I know people listening are like, duh.
Yeah, sorry. When you have a house full of books that are stacked and they're just bookmarked, it's
Yeah.
it's part it's part of the anatomy of a book
Edgar
book.
Allan Poe.
That's even the worst part
Yeah.
because I love Edgar Allan Poe, but one of my favorite, I mean, I like The Raven, but was The Mask of the Red Death. Don't ask me why. I fell in love with it when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Don't know why. Fell in love with it. Think it's just amazing. So,
Cool.
all right. Well, number 2, name a book that brings you comfort.
A book that brings me comfort. Hmm. Not to get religious, but probably, the New Testament, the Bible.
All right. Very
But
good.
I think anything that's sci-fi. I mean, I'll crack open a book and I'll lose myself in science fiction. So absolutely, and not just Star Wars. I mean, I like a lot of science fiction, a lot of like mainstream science fiction, like Star Trek. I've
Mhm,
got a couple of Star Trek books. Like there was a sequel to the movie The Search for Spock with the whales, and then this was a story of the probe that came to Earth looking for the whales before the movie. So it was kind of a prequel to that, which was kind of cool. But yeah, so and another series of books. Man, my memory is horrible. Miss Peregrine
oh, and the yes, and
and
the children, and the
and
yes.
the Weird Children. That book, I found that book. I found one of the first books at a thrift store, and I was flipping through the pictures, and the
Mhm,
pictures are, they're old style, vintage, like
yes.
Polaroids pictures
Mhm,
that are so fascinating. The
mhm,
kids are, they're doing some weird stuff. Some of them are floating. There's one really great picture of two little girls by a lake, and then in
mhm.
the reflection, you can only see one of those little girls.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I've heard of the books. I have yet
oh,
to read them. I know, and no one come at me when I've got well, y'all can't
well,
see. Eventually, you'll see my I
your
have
books.
I
Yeah.
have I have
You got to
I
put that.
have about 5
That's
or
one of
6
the
books
books.
next to me.
Yeah. That's one of the books that you got to put on the reading list for this later in the year,
I
because
will do that.
it's fantastic. They made a movie out of it, but it doesn't compare. It's a wonderful story.
All right. All right. Can you name or remember one of your first comic book memories?
Yes, and it's so ingrained in my mind. I mean, my favorite comic book character is Spider-Man, and that's what got me into comic books. But my first comic book experience that I still remember was a story called As I Grow Pale and Thin, and it was in a kind of a horror comic book called I Fantasy by um, DC. No, it was called I Vampire. I don't remember what number, but in the back of this story of this comic book, there was a kind of a story of a family that was moving into an old country home, and
Mhm.
the little boy went exploring in the house, and he
Mhm.
found the attic, and the attic was mysterious and cool and adventurous, and he had his own little adventures there. He spent a lot of time up there that his mother
Mhm.
started to get a little worried because he was losing weight. He wasn't coming down to eat,
Mhm.
and he was just spending way too much time up in the attic. Um, it turns out that the little boy supposedly was, communicating with like a ghost of another little boy, and
Oh,
that's why he didn't want to leave the attic. This story gets kind of dark. It starts to,
sounds like it.
the little boy just would not come down, and when his mother finally went upstairs to see what was going on, the little boy was you can tell that he lost a lot of weight. His eyes were sunken in. He was slightly emaciated, and at the end of the story, he died. He passed away.
That's a
Um,
very sad comic book.
it is, but it was intriguing because it was, it had a little bit of a twist. It turns out that the history of the house, there was a little boy that died in the attic, and that was the spirit that was trying to have this other live little boy, um, come and join him and keep him company.
Mhm.
And the last frame, it was really freaky. It was the ghost of the two little boys looking out the window from the attic as a new family came in. Mm, yeah. As I
Mm-mm.
grow pale and
Uh-uh. Well, I'm noticing a pattern today, like with the horror film, and of course we know you like villains.
yeah. So
You're going
that
for the
was
dark side.
like I said. I mean, that always kind of stuck in my mind, and I still remember it. I must have been, 9 years old when I read that
Mhm.
story, and it just really stayed with me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And you've already answered my next question.
The
Your favorite,
superheroes
your
comic
favorite.
book.
Oh, well, no, your favorite comic book character, is it Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
It
It's
is
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, did you like discover Spider-Man right around that age, or were you like a little bit older?
No, I think right around that age, 10 years old.
I mean,
I was,
Spider-Man's a little less dark
yeah,
sometimes, most of
yeah.
the time.
But I mean, the iconography of a spider is still kind of freaky to a lot of people.
Yes.
But I was very intrigued with Spider-Man's powers.
Mhm.
And I've said this on the podcast before, telling the story of how I wanted the proportionate powers and strength of a spider. I I captured a spider, put it in a jar. I didn't have any radiation like Peter Parker did. The only radiation I had
Yeah.
was like a flashlight. So I captured the spider, put it in a jar, put the flashlight over it overnight, and then in the morning I tried to have the spider bite me so I can get its powers. And I grabbed it and I was like doing this to my hand so it could bite me. Good thing I didn't run into traffic and try to jump over traffic.
Wow. How old you must have been, like, it's like 9 or 10 when you did
Yeah,
that.
10
That
years
sounds
old.
like something you could only do when you're young
Right.
because you're just like, "I wanna be like Spider-Man, bite
Yep.
me, bite me." Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That question morphed into quite the good memory. All right. So, finishing up our round of 5 questions, name your favorite book character and why.
Favorite book character?
Mhm.
Hmm.
I know there's so many.
Well, there's so many, and again, I don't read a lot, and I'm trying to think of all the books that I do, and really the books that I have are all tied to like a famous IP. Star Wars, Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, if I say, Darth Vader, is that cheating?
No, because he's in a book. I mean, George Lucas did
Yeah,
write books about
sure.
Vader.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite book character. Um, Dr. Seuss? No, Curious George? I don't know.
Hey, that's from your childhood. That
Yeah.
counts. That
All
counts.
right. Well, that's who I'll pick.
There you go. Well, before we end on the fives, we actually have a really cool giveaway that thank you to our guest Ro, who is the creator of the Red 5 Network and part of Scare Podcast. He actually has a really cool giveaway, and we're doing something special tonight because we're giving it away to one of the original people in the Red 5 Reading Book Club. So
Nice.
get ready. You want to show off that bookmark? Can you explain how this is not just like a regular bookmark?
Well, let's
Because
see.
you and I
We
both know. But
Yeah, we got it at C2E2,
correct.
and you notice that it's very shiny.
It's
It's
very pretty.
because it's metal.
It is. They were so cool. Everybody, let me tell you, these bookmarks were awesome. They are
Yeah.
awesome. The artwork is beautiful.
Yeah.
And who is on that bookmark?
Who is on here? Let's put it back in the case here, in the little plastic. It's your favorite Mandalorian. What's her face?
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Yeah, I've got two other ones that I'm keeping for myself.
Oh
A
my gosh.
shore trooper and Darth Vader's TIE fighter. But Bo-Katan can be yours.
Oh my gosh. I'm hoping that they will be at C2E2 again next year.
Yeah.
I would
They
totally
will,
get
I
another
think,
one
yeah.
just for giveaways and for
For
myself.
sure. Yeah, they're beautifully done. The artwork is fantastic. And yeah, you can read a lot of pages with them.
All right. So we're going to get to our giveaway. I already entered in everybody's name into a pre-selected things because I'm like, you know what, we're going to do this because
Technology.
it is. It is awesome. So we have 8 names in here. All right.
Nice.
Everything but Ro and myself. We're not in there. So here we go. And our lucky winner is, you guys can't see that, can you? It's too bright.
It's too
But
bright, yeah.
it says Todd. Todd of WSTR and Big T.
Todd.
Yep.
Congratulations, Todd.
Yep.
Very
That
nice.
is the winner for the giveaway.
Wow. Cool.
So awesome. I know he will enjoy that.
Yes, absolutely.
So before we wrap up, Ro, where can everybody listening find you?
Well, if you have a smart speaker at home, you can just turn your head and say, "Hey, Alexa, play the latest Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast," and you will hear us. Or wherever you download your other favorite podcasts on all the podcatchers everywhere, the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast. Part of the Red5 Network, as you mentioned. The rest of our funny family can be found at bio.link/Red5.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being my first guest. This was fun. I am excited because I'm excited to get to know other Red 5 content creators because, we goof off, a lot and we geek out and stuff, but sometimes it's nice to kind of get to know each other in other ways. So
Lots
I'm
of
excited.
tomfoolery.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening in and joining us. And again, check out the Red 5 Network. And again, if you're interested in the book club, go ahead and check us out on X, also formerly known as Twitter, and that's Red5Reading. I am Nicole. You can find me on social media on Peace, Love, Fandom, again, X, as well as Instagram. It has been great having you guys. Thank you for joining us, and may the force be with you.